What if I told you that a simple natural powder placed under your tongue just 15 minutes before closeness could greatly change your staying power, performance, and strength in ways that might even become too much for your partner? What if this powder worked so well at bringing back youthful energy and endurance that you would need to slow yourself down to avoid tiring out the person you are with? I am Dr. Laura, and today I am going to show a compound that has been hiding in plain sight, backed by real scientific study that can help older men regain the kind of performance they thought was lost for good. This is not about drugs with side effects or unproven supplements. This is about a specific way to take a natural compound that works faster and more powerfully than most men ever thought possible. Before I show what this powder is, let me explain what is really happening in your body as you age that changes your intimate performance. Knowing the problem is completely key to seeing why this answer works so well. As men get older, several linked systems begin to slow. Your heart and blood vessel efficiency drops, your hormone production changes, your cell energy production weakens, and perhaps most importantly, your body's ability to make something called nitric oxide begins to fall greatly. Nitric oxide is the master controller of blood flow through your whole body, and it is absolutely vital for intimate performance. When you feel arousal, your body needs to quickly raise blood flow to certain tissues. This happens through the making of nitric oxide, which tells blood vessels to relax and open. In younger men, this process happens fast and well. But as you age, several things get in the way of nitric oxide production. The enzymes that create nitric oxide become less active. The blood vessel lining becomes less responsive, and oxidative stress hurts the cells that make nitric oxide. The result is that even when you are mentally aroused and interested, your body cannot answer the way it used to. Blood flow is slow, firmness is less, stamina is limited, and the overall strength of the experience fades. This is not in your head. This is a real, measurable drop in body function. But here is the key point. This drop is not certain, and it is not permanent. When you give your body the right building blocks and take them in the best way possible, you can bring back nitric oxide production and greatly improve performance. So what is this powder? It is L-citrulline. Now, before you think this sounds too simple or that you have heard about amino acids before, let me explain why this particular compound taken in this particular way is so uniquely powerful. L-citrulline is an amino acid that your body changes into another amino acid called L-arginine, which is then used to make nitric oxide. You might be wondering why we would not just use L-arginine directly. This is where the science gets very interesting. When you take L-arginine by mouth in pill form, most of it gets broken down in your stomach and liver before it ever gets to your bloodstream. This is called first-pass metabolism, and it greatly lowers the power of oral L-arginine supplements. However, when you take L-citrulline, it avoids much of this breakdown. It gets taken in, goes to your kidneys, and gets changed into L-arginine in your bloodstream. This means you end up with much higher levels of active L-arginine ready to make nitric oxide. But here is where the way you take it makes all the difference. When you place L-citrulline powder under your tongue, you are using what is called sublingual absorption. The tissue under your tongue is very rich in blood vessels, and these vessels have direct access to your whole circulation. Things taken in sublingually bypass the stomach entirely and enter your bloodstream within minutes. This is why sublingual taking of L-citrulline is so much better than swallowing capsules. The speed and strength of the effects are remarkable. Within 15 to 20 minutes of placing L-citrulline powder under your tongue, your blood levels of L-arginine begin to rise. Within 30 minutes, nitric oxide production goes up greatly through your heart and blood vessel system. This leads to widespread blood vessel opening, which means your blood vessels relax and expand. Blood flow goes up greatly, not just to one area, but through your whole body. And when it comes to intimate performance, this increased blood flow changes everything. let me walk you through exactly what happens in your body when you use sublingual L-citrulline before closeness. First, the powder melts under your tongue, and the L-citrulline molecules are taken in straight through the soft skin into the tiny blood vessels under your tongue. From there, they enter your blood and travel to your heart, which pumps them through your artery system. When the L-citrulline reaches your kidneys, enzymes there change it into L-arginine. This L-arginine then moves through your whole body. And when it reaches the cells that line your blood vessels, those cells use it to make nitric oxide. The nitric oxide then spreads into the smooth muscle cells that wrap your blood vessels, causing them to relax. When these muscles relax, the blood vessels expand and blood flow increases. This process happens through your whole heart and blood vessel system, but it has particularly strong effects in areas where increased blood flow makes the most difference for intimate performance. The result is stronger, more lasting responses that feel more like what you remember from your younger years. But L-citrulline does more than just improve blood flow in the moment. It also has longer-term good points that build with regular use. Research has shown that L-citrulline can improve blood vessel lining function over time. The endothelium is that key lining of your blood vessels that makes nitric oxide. When blood vessel lining function improves, your body becomes better at making nitric oxide naturally, even without extra help. This means that over weeks and months of steady use, your base-level heart and blood vessel function actually gets better. There is another interesting part to how L-citrulline works. It also helps remove ammonia from your bloodstream. Ammonia is a waste product that builds up during physical effort, and it adds to tiredness. By helping clear ammonia more efficiently, L-citrulline can improve stamina and lower tiredness during intimate activity. This is why many men report not just better blood flow and firmness, but also greatly improved endurance and the ability to keep performance going for longer times. The research backing L-citrulline is solid and impressive. Several studies have shown that L-citrulline supplementation greatly increases blood levels of L-arginine. Other studies have shown improvements in blood flow, blood vessel lining function, and exercise performance. While much of this research has focused on heart health and sports performance, the ways it works are directly linked to intimate function because the body science is the same. Blood flow is blood flow. Whether we are talking about exercise ability or intimate performance, one particularly relevant study looked specifically at L-citrulline supplementation and intimate function in older men. The results showed big improvements in firmness, satisfaction, and the number of successful intimate moments. The men in this study said that the effects were noticeable and meaningful. This was not a soft or small improvement. This was a strong return of function that many of them thought was gone for good. The sublingual taking method is key to getting the most from these good points. When you place the powder under your tongue, you want to let it melt completely without swallowing. This might take a minute or two. During this time, keep your tongue up and avoid making too much spit if you can. The longer the powder stays in touch with the tissue under your tongue, the more complete the taking in will be. After it has melted, you can swallow any leftover bit, but the main taking in has already happened through the sublingual way. The timing is also important. You want to take the L-citrulline about 15 to 30 minutes before you expect intimate activity. This gives your body time to take it in, change it to L-arginine, and make nitric oxide. The effects usually peak between 30 and 60 minutes after taking and can last for a few hours. This gives you a wide time of better performance without the need for exact timing. The amount matters as well. Research suggests that useful amounts of L-citrulline range from 3 to 6 grams. For sublingual use, starting with 3 grams is fine, and you can go up if needed. Some men find that 4 or 5 grams works best for them. The powder itself is usually white or off-white, and it has a fairly plain taste. Some men call it slightly bitter, but it is not bad, and it melts pretty fast under the tongue. Now, let me talk about why the title mentions that your partner might ask you to stop. This is not overstatement. When you bring back youthful levels of blood flow and stamina, the change can be strong. Men who have been feeling age-related drops suddenly find themselves performing with a strength and length they have not felt in years or even decades. This can be wonderful, but it can also be surprisingly strong for a partner who has gotten used to shorter, less energetic moments. This is why talking is important and why you might need to consciously slow yourself down, even though your body is able to do more. The heart good points of better nitric oxide production go beyond intimate performance. Your heart function improves, your blood pressure may go down, your overall blood flow becomes more efficient. Many men say they feel more energetic through the day, have better mental sharpness, and feel better physical performance in other activities. These are all linked to the basic improvement in heart and blood vessel function that comes from better nitric oxide production. L-citrulline also has good effects on cell energy production. It plays a part in the urea cycle, which is how your body handles nitrogen waste products. When this cycle works well, it supports overall body health and energy production. This adds to the stamina and endurance good points that men feel with L-citrulline supplementation. Another plus of L-citrulline is its safety. It is a natural amino acid that your body already makes and uses. You are simply giving extra material to support increased making of L-arginine and nitric oxide. Unlike drug ways that force specific body responses, L-citrulline works with your body's natural paths. This means the chance of side effects is very low when used right. Some men do feel mild stomach upset if they take large amounts of L-citrulline by mouth, but this is much less common with sublingual taking because you are bypassing the stomach. The most often reported side effect, if any, is a mild redness or warming feeling as blood flow goes up through the body. This is actually a sign that the L-citrulline is working as meant. It is worth knowing how L-citrulline compares to drug choices. Medications work by stopping an enzyme that breaks down cyclic GMP, which is a molecule after nitric oxide in the blood flow signaling chain. By preventing the breakdown of cyclic GMP, these drugs make its effects last longer. However, they need enough nitric oxide production to start with. If your body is not making enough nitric oxide due to age-related drop, these drugs may not work as well. L-citrulline deals with the root cause by supporting increased nitric oxide production naturally. Furthermore, drug ways can have big side effects and mixes with other drugs, particularly those affecting heart and blood vessel function. L-citrulline has a much gentler action and far fewer reasons not to use it. That said, if you are taking drugs for blood pressure or heart conditions, you should talk with a healthcare provider before adding L-citrulline, as the blood pressure lowering effects could add together. The quality of L-citrulline powder matters. You want to look for pure L-citrulline without a lot of fillers or extras. Some products have citrulline malate, which is L-citrulline joined with malic acid. This form is fine and may even have extra good points for energy production, but it usually needs slightly higher amounts because the malic acid adds weight to each dose. Pure L-citrulline is more strong. Storing it is simple. Keep the powder in a cool, dry spot in a sealed container. L-citrulline is steady at room temperature and does not need to be kept cold. Some men find it handy to measure amounts ahead into small containers so they can easily take it when needed without having to weigh it each time. The way nitric oxide improves intimate performance is clever and strong. Nitric oxide is a signaling molecule that is made in the cells lining your blood vessels. Once made, it spreads into the nearby smooth muscle cells. Inside those smooth muscle cells, nitric oxide starts an enzyme that makes cyclic GMP. The cyclic GMP then sets off a chain of events that causes the smooth muscle to relax. When smooth muscle in blood vessel walls relaxes, the vessels open and blood flow rises. This same way works in the smooth muscle of erectile tissue, which is why nitric oxide is absolutely needed for normal function. As we age, many things lower nitric oxide production. The enzyme that makes nitric oxide, called nitric oxide synthase, becomes less active. The supply of L-arginine, the material for nitric oxide production, falls. Oxidative stress hurts the lining cells where nitric oxide is made, and the signaling paths become less sensitive. By giving plenty of L-citrulline, which changes to L-arginine, you fix several of these limits at the same time. The betterment in blood vessel lining function that happens with steady L-citrulline use is especially good for long-term health. Endothelial trouble is an early sign of heart disease. When the endothelium is not working right, it sets the stage for artery hardening, high blood pressure, and other heart problems. By supporting healthy endothelial function through L-citrulline help, you are not just improving intimate performance, you are supporting your overall heart health. Many men find that the good points of L-citrulline reach their confidence and mental state during intimate moments. When you know that your body is going to answer reliably, that you will have good firmness and staying power, it takes away a source of worry and lets you be more present and focused. This mind-good point adds to the physical betterments, creating a full lift of the intimate experience. The under-the-tongue way also allows for more freedom in timing, because taking in is fast and does not depend on stomach processes. You are not affected by whether you have recently eaten or what foods you have had. This is different from mouth supplements, where food in the stomach can greatly change taking in. With sublingual L-citrulline, you have steady and sure effects no matter when you eat. For men who have tried other ways without success, L-citrulline often gives the breakthrough they have been looking for because it deals with the core issue of nitric oxide production rather than working through extra steps. It can work even when other ways have failed. And because it is working with your body's natural chemistry rather than forcing a response, the results feel natural and lasting. The beauty of this way is its simplicity. You are not committing to tricky steps or many supplements. You are using one natural compound taken in a best way, timed right. This simplicity makes it easy to be steady, and being steady is what makes the best results. When you use L-citrulline often before intimate activity, you are giving your body repeated chances to bring back and keep healthy blood vessel function. Some men choose to use L-citrulline not just before intimate activity, but as a daily supplement to support overall heart health. This way can give ongoing good points for blood pressure, blood flow, and energy levels. The before closeness under the tongue amount can then be an extra boost on top of a base of improved normal function. Thank you for staying with me through this detailed look. L-citrulline taken under the tongue before closeness shows a powerful, natural, fact-based way to bring back and lift intimate performance in older men by supporting nitric oxide production and improving blood flow. It deals with the root causes of age-related drop. The effects can be strong enough that slowing yourself becomes important. Give this way a try and feel what it is like to reclaim the energy you thought was gone. I am Dr. Laura, and I hope this knowledge changes your intimate life.